Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Stefan playing Stellaris, and today we're going to continue on with our series with Fanatic Purifiers on the Grand Admiral difficulty. My bird's going to be chirping in the background. Forgive him, he can't really control it. So there's that. So last where we left off, we were trying to advance towards the two choke points that I have outlined. It also seems that this area of the galaxy is actually separated from this little area. I mean, this may be the L cluster, though I'm not sure. It's probably an extension of this little part. Like, the L cluster isn't supposed to be known, right? So far, things are looking up, and let's continue exploring. Anomaly. Atmospheric readings from Rodian 4 do not match simulator projections. Let's research that. We have swirling shadows. Immense ragged planes of shadow drift across Rodian 4's face. They are cast not by clouds, but by sheets of organic material drifting through the upper layers of the atmosphere, hinged, or rather jointed, to allow a small degree of articulation. Science Officer Dolores Gonzalez is as yet unwilling to say whether these things are flora or fauna, or what possible purpose, if any, their elaborate shadow casting might serve. This is actually even better than energy, because we get 6 society.
Technology secured.
Finally, we have our Hollow Temple. Now, going with the trend of extra unity, let's go for planetary unification. This is also going to unlock the path towards improved government buildings. So this is quite important to get.
Tactical retreat.
Interesting, we have another beta menace. And it's still these miners. That's quite annoying. But it does mean that the actual system in which they live is somewhere nearby. We may even be able to use that as a way to secure our borders, since AI really does not like going to war against naturally spawning anomalies.
System charted.
And we have our colony ship. Let's go to Ovani and take this planet. Ovani 3, more like Abyssal Quarry. Faction founded. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the eternal political landscape of the Fangs of the Abyss. Led by Imperator Apexum, they call themselves the Abyssal Monstratum Superiority Movement. Their members seek to assert the primacy of the monstral species by curtailing the rights of aliens if necessary. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but one that proves of the government's actions could prove useful. Basically getting 2 free influence per month. An anomaly. The surface of this asteroid is littered with metallic debris. Most of it appears to originate from the starships of many different designs. Let's see what they are. Overall, the faction that comes with the Fanatic Purifiers is quite powerful because there's a lot of support for this sort of faction, and their demands are pretty simple. Just stay Fanatic Purifiers, and since you can't remove the civic, you know, there's no way you're not gonna be Fanatic Purifiers. And since I never joined federations, this is not gonna be a problem either. And it looks like we actually have a junkyard. This asteroid was evidently used as a junkyard by someone at some point in the distant past. All manner of discarded machinery and metallic refuse has been deposited inside the asteroid's weak gravity well, being slowly pulled into the jumble of debris that now covers the surface. There is nothing of particular value we found here, but a lot of the metal could be salvaged by a mining station. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Oh no, we have space pirates. A large group of faithless criminals from the Abyssal Genesis have illegally converted a number of civilian starships into weapons of war. Operating in the fringes of our space, the Anus system, these heretics have started calling themselves the Blood Brigade, and are responsible for several attacks against civilian shipping lanes. Their profane activities must not be allowed to continue. I guess it's time to send in our fleet.
Technology secured.
Alright, mining networks too. This is quite a tough choice, but I think I'm going to actually go for mineral processing, since armor is something we can easily get from discovering the debris of other ships.
Enemy presence exposed.
And having increased mineral output will really help us. The pirate fleet from the Blood Brigade has been detected in direct course towards the Habitable system. Alright. Well, we have our fleet also going in this direction, so hopefully that won't be much of a problem.
Tactical retreat.
You know, I never understood the AI. Like, this ship wanted to go over in this direction, even though it would very clearly be engaged by these pirates. AI is mad dumb. These space pirates are really not going to be a problem, considering the fact that I have a combined total of about 300 fleet power, while they have about 200. As expected, these pirates were defeated without any trouble.
Anomaly found.
A Class 12 asteroid orbits this planet. The small planetoid's orbit appears far too stable for its presence to be a natural occurrence. Let's research that. We're actually getting a discount, which is quite nice, actually. A Towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into stable orbit around Stellaris 7. The massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they have long been since rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but those operations were seemingly abandoned shortly after they begun. Interesting. We get some engineering out of that. I'm pretty sure there's also a chance of getting thruster technology out of that. But I guess that'll appear next time I actually do this sort of event. Perfect. Now that my fleet is all repaired, I can send them in and attack the actual pirate base. Since pirates do respawn, I have to take out their base very quickly.
Complete.
And so I have sent my fleet over to hopefully destroy the station. Let's go for it to boldly go, just to finish up the discovery train. We'll also get increased survey speed as well as science ship disengagement chance. So hopefully science ships won't die as much. Alright, we raided the raiders. The Strike Force Medusa has destroyed a pirate station in the ANOMALY system and recovered its, I assume this is meant to be storing room module. Excellent. We actually got quite a bit of minerals and energy out of it. Quite a bit more than I expected. Usually we get like 30 of each, but 180 minerals is quite a lot. Oh, there we go. Now we have a holy world. It also seems that I was right about the fact that there's a holy empire nearby. I was just wrong about this planet. You can see the difference between a holy world and a naturally spawning world. A holy world will have a weird name on it, like Prophet's Reed. It will have no tile blockers, and obviously it has the holy world thing when you survey it. We also got AI-controlled colony ships. Let's see what we can get. We are in need of energy right now, so let's go for better power plants.
Anomaly found.
M4893 is a home to a number of exquisite impact craters. However, something breaks the visual uniformity on one of these larger craters. Let's research that. Let's see if this is Fender Bender. Fender Bender will provide us with 8 engineering research, I believe, and that'll be a huge bonus.
Sphere of influence expanded.
Looks like we have our third colonized world. Let's put this guy in the food because that is what we need right now. Impressive structures litter Elthinol 3A's surface, practically begging for some archaeological work. Let's research that. And we have abandoned thrusting. In the center of a particularly large crater on M4893 lies a cluster of metal shapes, doubtlessly of alien origin. Science officer Sarah Hoffman is convinced that they are massive planetoid mountable propulsion devices, intended to push M4893 from its orbit for purposes and destination unknown. The ISS Vagabond is on standby, its crew ready to begin the disassembly and analysis of the alleged propulsion systems with the hopes of improving our own thruster technology. Well, since we're fanatic xenophobes, we can't actually use them, so we get Unity instead. Edict Monolithic. Elthior 3A is uninhabited and indeed uninhabitable, not unvisited. Its surface is littered with tall cenotaphs covered by some mineral not native to the planet. The monolith's flowing lines deftly chart a history so fantastical it must surely be fictional. Surely. Image them and gain a lot of engineering. This is 18 months worth. Alright, looks like our scientists gain a new trait. Expertise in particles. Excellent. And looks like we actually already have an expertise particle scientist. That's a bit of a shame. Another anomaly. There is significant scarring on the surface of this world in a pattern that cannot be natural. From orbit, the massive rifts look almost like writing. Research that, this will probably be alien writing, which will give us 3 society. Let's see if I'm right. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the Fangs of the Abyss. Led by Governor Terthi Busket, they call themselves the Alliance of Traditional Foundations. Their members support spiritualist and conservative values. They don't seem to be too happy with us, and they'll probably take away from our influence gain. Looks like that planet was indeed alien writing. Someone has used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing into the surface of Elthiorv 2. Massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper hemisphere and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. Fascinating. Indeed, the Race Society. It also looks like the scientists gained a new trait, expertise in materials. Oh, that's quite an interesting system. Never seen this before. Looks quite nice. I wonder how a Dyson sphere will work in this system. Kinda want to test it out just off camera.
Anomaly found.
Canyons deep enough to be seen from orbit furrow the surface of RH1, yet the planet is dry as a dust bowl. What could have happened to the water that once so profoundly carved RH1's stone? Let's see, I really wonder. I'm not sure if I can pronounce that. Metamorphic dehydration. Following a thorough investigation of RH1, the ISS Vagabond crew has confirmed that the planet used to be covered in flowing water several billion years ago. However, the geochemical composition of the planet's basalt crust provided highly hydrophilic. So much so that RH1's thirsty rocks eventually absorbed and bound all of the water on its surface. Now all that remains of these vast oceans are salty brine streaks lining RH1's numerous canyons. Science officer Sarah Hoffman adds that the mineral hydrates now dominating RH1's landscape could have many valuable industrial applications. Interesting. I guess this is a new one. I've never seen this one before. We have an interesting edict. Declare saint. This edict will bestow sainthood upon a deceased individual who led a particularly pious life, creating a new unifying symbol. This will last 11 years and 6 months, and will only cost 190 influence. I can actually afford that for now, so I'll get that. And we have a new tradition. Databank uplinks. High-capacity quantum bands dedicated to databank transfers make possible virtually completely synchronized research operations across vast distances. So once I'm done with surveying the surrounding area and meeting some new empires, I'll gladly use some of my science ships to assist research. Alright, we have a precursor. That is quite routine. Let's leave this be. I believe I already have the 6 precursors necessary, so once I decide to go for them, it'll be quite easy to get the actual precursor system. We also have new technology. And now I guess I'm just going to go for afterburners, because increases the speed of my ships is important to a degree. And once again, another precursor. Anomaly. A large amount of ship debris can be found in orbit around this planet, possibly the remnants of some kind of massive fleet action. Let's research that. And we have signs of battle. There's clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in the close orbit of Arch 8 at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface of one side of the planet is pockmarked with craters from the stray weapon blasts, and scans of the ISS Vagabond have picked up several hunks from the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science officer Sarah Hoffman is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any valuable technologies. Why not research that real quick? Alright, the fact that we have this system within our borders that is unclaimed by anyone means that the Fallen Empire is likely not in this little cluster of stars. That means that we will be able to employ choke points against them once we go to war. Alright, I've built a starbase near the extension, and so I will populate it with trading hubs.
Special project complete.
The team under the science officer Sarah Hoffman has finished their expedition on Arch 8 and returned to ISS Vagabond. Sadly, the wrecked starships on the surface were too badly damaged to recover any useful technologies. These vessels were clearly very advanced, however, and we can gain valuable engineering insights if we analyze the way that they were designed. we should consider the construction of a permanent science outpost in orbit. Interesting. And now the scientists gain quite a bit of experience.
Anomaly found.
A small rectangular object on the surface of this moon is reflecting all scanning beams like a mirror. Our sensors are unable to determine its material composition. Let's see what this is. Alright, we have our 2 additional monthly unity. So for now I think I'm just going to go for farming subsidies and hydroponics farms, because our food situation is quite low, and improving it is quite a priority for me.
Technology secured.
And we have additional power plants. Now we can go for some blue lasers. And now we have an alien mural. While conducting the surface scans of Arch 8A, Science Officer Sarah Hoffman and the crew of ISS Vagabond discovered what appears to be an artificially carved slab of rock covered in alien writing. They have not detected any other signs of alien activity on the moon, and exactly how the mural came to here is a mystery. We have prepared a special project to translate the texts. Fascinating. Migrating forests. The surface of Abyssal Quarry is covered with lush forests with massive tree analogs rising hundreds of meters into the air. Interestingly, our colonists have found that nearly all the flora is mobile to various degrees. Forests stretching for miles will slowly migrate to new areas richer in nutrients for a cycle that seems tied with the planet's orbit. Unfortunately, this has seriously hampered our efforts to develop the colony's infrastructure. The migrating trees frequently cut power lines while smashing our buildings and roads into rubble. I have seen this before once, and it's quite interesting. So we can either study them, or we can just burn them. Burning the forests will have a chance of them just uprising against you, and I really don't want to do that. So I'll just study them once I can actually afford it, and I don't want a study of migrating forests to take 55 months. I've actually never seen this image before. That's quite interesting. Ship sensors are picking up an unexplained pattern of interference in the Dantana system. Let's research that. I'm actually really curious to what this is. Sonified science. The ISS Vagabond crew has succeeded in isolating a signal embedded within the unusual pattern of interference in the Dantana system. The signal is a song. The complex sonification of an advanced mathematical equation, to be precise, and one that Science Officer Dolores Gonzalez cannot seem to get out of their head. Who or what may have composed the song that remains unknown, though its complexity infers an incredible level of technological sophistication regarding subspace harmonics. The signal's geodis suggests a point of origin from outside our galaxy. Disconcerting. We gain a lot of society and physics research. Excellent. Alright, the Wandering Forest migrate. The Colonial authorities of the Abyssal Quarry have reported that one of the local wandering forests has migrated into another region of the planet. Hundreds of thousands of trees have uprooted and marched in unison. In a new area, trampling everything in their paths. It's very peculiar. And they migrate once again. It looks like they actually migrated right back to where they started.
Construction complete.
Oh no, we have an encounter in Sabatrok. It seems to be a large collection of crystals. Interesting. And they migrate once again. Another tradition. So now, I think I'm gonna go for some purity. So, there actually is a reason why I'm leaving this Ascension perk untouched. The reason is, Voidborn does not require any other Ascension perk to be chosen before it, and so I can go for Voidborn, and then possibly even go for some Mind over Matter. Going for something along the lines of Technological Ascendancy is nice, however, it is not necessary. And so instead of going for a flat 10% research bonus, I'm just going to go for some more interesting Ascension perks, dealing with megastructures.
Anomaly found.
By chance, we stumble upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? Research that. And the Wandering Forest migrated once more, right back where they started. These are quite interesting migrating forests. Seems that they're doing a dance. And looks like we have discovered an ancient life pod. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of F-1. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the ISS Vagabond managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in a resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race. presumably a mate or a revered leader. Interesting, and we get some society. So, looks like it's time to wrap up the episode. In these short 10 years, I've expanded quite a bit. I also discovered quite a lot of anomalies, and the thing that the devs said about there being 50% more, well, it seems more like 100% more. There seems to be an anomaly in virtually every system I've been to. The fact that a holy world is located right next to us means that the Holy Empire is probably going to be chilling right around here. Overall, I believe it was a very successful episode. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.